so much. Welcome to Healthier Home Live. I'm Jen and this is Ken, and we are here to talk all the great cleaning tips with you. Ken, how are you doing?
Couldn't do any better. We had two back-to-back days. Somebody just asked me this, two back-to-back 80-degree days. Now, first time this year that happened where we live, we're Midwest. And somebody said, when was the last time that happened? You have to go back. August was the last time that happened. So we really treasure some good weather. But now we're back into the 60s and 70s. So maybe the bloom's off the rose, as it were.
Oh my goodness. Well, we are getting into spring. And so that is why we're feeling slightly warmer temperatures. And also why today we are going to be talking about what, Ken?
Cleaning that garage. It's kind of a spring cleaning topic.
Yes, we are all about spring cleaning right now, and Ken has all of our tips. So, should we just get into it, or is there anything else we need to just start with?
Well, it's not really difficult. You have to kind of lay it out, and it depends on whose property this is, because it can get a little bit involved. But at the end of the day, most often, every neighborhood has it. There's somebody who's always parking outside because they can't get that car in the garage. And why can't they get that car in the garage, Jen?
Well, they've got too much stuff in there, Ken.
They got too much stuff in there is right. So we're going to take back the garage, or we got another choice. What's the other choice? We could buy smaller.
We could get a storage unit.
Well, buy smaller cars. That was my joke of the theme on there.
Oh, my goodness. And what, oh, I see it there. Yes. See, I was looking at your beautiful face and not reading your funny joke.
That's right. And the overarching theme of that, I used the Clash song. I don't know if you remember the Clash. It was the British band.
Should I stay or should I go?
Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na. You are correct. Now, it's not necessarily should I stay, but should the clutter go? Should it stay or should it go?
All right. Well, tell us about it, because it's hard for me to get rid of stuff.
That's what we're going to talk about. And I personally, this one's close to home because this was my mother. Their garage. My father was kind of a pack rat in that garage. It was kind of like his kingdom out there, and he had so much stuff in there. They hadn't used a garage in 35 years, and there were cars out there, motorcycles. There was all kinds of stuff. And when my father, who's no longer with us, when he left. All this behind, and my mother, she was totally overwhelmed. And so I bring that up, understanding completely. Some people are going to have a hard time with this, and they just may not know where to even turn. So how do we get started? That was my thought. How do we get started? There's a Beatles song, with a little help from my friends.
You are all about the musical tie-ins. I love it.
So can you give us a little help from my friends, Jen? I know
I get by with a little help from my friends.
You are so good.
Thank you.
You are always right on key. I could sing, but I would embarrass myself. I really belong in a shower, and everybody else belongs down the block.
Isn't that what they say, though? Sing like no one's listening.
There is truth to that. And I don't care if I'm in the car singing. I don't care. So I would keep this in mind. Some people are really going to need some help. So if you notice somebody maybe in your family has a hard time with this, you might want to reach out, because it just might be a day of helping them get through some of this. There's some challenges with that. And that was my mother. My mother could not have done this, and I'm not patting myself on the back. Anybody could have done it, but she really needed somebody to shepherd through all of this. There was just too much to go through.
You needed that ever powerful list that you're about to give us.
You are correct. Now before we get to that list, the biggest headaches with this whole process, there's little headaches and there's like migraine headaches, but the biggest headaches are clutter. Some of it might be good, some of it might be bad. Bikes, shovels, I call them yard tools. They could be rakes, hose, ice picks, axes, hedge clippers, all that stuff. And then you're going to have dirty floors. A lot of times there's cars in there that have left a lot of oily messes. These are the biggest headaches with garages. So before we even do that, I thought about who could give me inspiration on here. And I thought Avril Lavigne with Keep Holding On. I know it's a process, but we're going to keep holding on. I can't do it like you, but there's a great song by Avril. That
is great. And you did a great job. I think you should sing more.
You are You're just a good person saying that. So these are the big headaches. So keep this in mind as we're going forward. These are the big headaches that we're kind of work through here.
All right, let's get it. Next slide, Bess. Let's see what we got next.
Yeah, so this might be, now this would have been like halfway there with my mother's garage. It was worse than this, believe it or not. So we really kind of need a little action list. And when I thought about a list, Toby Keith has got one of the greatest songs, My List.
You're going to have to sing this one too, because I don't know this one.
It's not about cleaning out a garage.
No.
It really is a sweet song. Everybody's got a list. It's under an old brass paperweight is my list of things to do today. And he talks about some of the put a lock on the door, blah, blah, blah. But the real thing he's talking about is maybe spending a little more time with his kid, maybe spending more time with his wife, spending more time, so that's a really kind of cool song. That's just Toby Keith, My List. But anyway.
I think that ties in with this subject here, though, because I feel like when you have a little less clutter, you feel a little more peace and you are able to spend time with your loved ones a little bit more. So
I mean, I will tell you something. Again, I don't mind sharing all this. When I got through all of this with my mother, and I finally got her to the point, she hadn't had her car in the garage in 35 years. When she got this done, she was crying. She was crying. She was actually in tears because it was something she always wanted to have. Again, was being able to park in the garage. But there's a safety factor too. You don't have to, worry about ice and snow on the car, cleaning all that stuff off. So it was truly cathartic to get all that stuff done and get her in a better space. So you're right. You're absolutely correct.
Yep.
So, and this is really, what we had to do too. I mean, this is just really the steps 1, 2, 3, 4. First thing is empty out the garage. You have to you got to take an inventory of what's all there because you really don't even know. There's just so much stuff in there. So you got to get that out. You kind of need a space where you're going to do that. For us, it was kind of the backyard and the side. There was quite a bit to get out there.
Did you do it all in one day?
It largely got done in a weekend. It took a little bit more than a day, but it was pretty much done in a weekend. And there's still a little bit more to do, in all honesty. But from once we came, no problem. I mean, we're all good at this point. So we got to get that garage emptied, and then the biggest thing you've got to do is kind of organize 3 piles. You want 3 piles. What's really trash? What can you really get rid of? What do you want to donate? And what really needs to be kept? And that person, what they're going to struggle with, I promise you, the person who's got that garage like that, they're going to struggle with that step. That's a big one because some of it, they might be some internal issues about what to really throw away. There might be emotional issues tied to it. But you really got to get that to the point. Hopefully that's not the issue. It's not everybody who's got this issue, but you want to get things in the trash that are really trash. If you said you're going to fix a table that's been out there for 10 years, you're probably not going to fix it. Yeah. So that's just trash. Donate could be.
I struggle with that too, though, because I was raised by parents who were super. We recycled everything, and we were my mother reused paper towels if they were only wet. So she would lay them out on the counter and let them dry, and you better use that paper towel again. And so I do not like getting rid of anything that I think there is a snowball's chance that I'm ever going to want to use again. And I know that as soon as I get rid of it, Ken, I'm going to need it for something.
Well, then pile number 2 might be better for you, and that might be donate, because at the very least, now if something's not trash, I mean, if it's truly not junk like broken furniture, but if you donate something, the chances are in this world, even although there's something, whether it's a garment that might not fit, shoes that might be a little bit whatever, somebody probably doesn't, maybe they don't have a pair of shoes, so they would take that pair that might be a little tattered. The donation thing is really a big deal. There are other people in this world that could probably really use something. So even if it's a sofa that's been sitting out there, somebody might really appreciate that. So consider that as a gift of altruism to somebody that could really use it.
Love it.
And then of course is the one thing that unfortunately a lot of people have a hard time doing is just keeping the things that they really need or want or could do something with, whether it's Christmas decorations. So that little process is going to be the lion's share of really everything. You've got to get through that, and hopefully there's not too many emotional issues with that, but that's the one you got to get through. And now thankfully, after I talked with my mom, at least on my side, she was able to download that to me, and she knew I had her best interest in heart, and I wasn't going to throw anything away that she wanted to keep or maybe didn't have value in a donation. Or she entrusted me to that. So that was a good thing. So that made it quite a bit easier. So that aside, the next thing we got to do is, if you got a leaf blower, it is good. I mean, there was so much there was so much dust in that my mother's garage. It was really hard to believe. But just getting all that stuff cleaned out of there is a step in the right direction. And then we're going to have to clean up some oil stains, most likely in the garage, because almost all floors have that. And I'm going to show you a super easy way to do it. And lastly, this on our Toby Keith my list is we're going to organize and maximize that space.
I love it.
We can probably roll on this one.
Oh my goodness, our oil stained floors. Look at this poor guy.
That actually is it's kind of funny, but I mean, oil stains, and it could be your driveway or in your garage, but oil stains, the first thing is they detract from your home's value. They don't look attractive. You don't want people coming up and, seeing oil stains on your pavers or on your concrete driveway or in your garage. Secondly, people walking across that are going to track that into your house, which we don't want. And they could be pets. Pets walk right through it. People walk right through it, and you carry that oil on your shoe, and it's going to bring, more dirt and filth into your house. You really don't want it. So that's not a good thing. And of course, even when it gets wet, there really is no joke. There's a lot of falls like that. And hopefully that guy, although it seems funny, it's not funny if it happens to somebody you care about.
No, he's in a full 3-piece suit too. He was ready for an interview or something important.
Maybe he's a lawyer. Should we feel sorry for him?
Well, I guess it depends what kind.
Correct. So anyway, there's a simple solution for this. We've got a product that is really remarkable. All what you do is pour this on, and as it dries, it draws the oil out of the surface, and you brush it away, and you're left with a spick and span area. It is really remarkable. It's a product called Pull It Out. We pull out the oil stain right from the surface, which is totally cool. And if we got just a couple seconds, we could show a video on how simple it is to work.
Oh my gosh, I love.
Why are oil stains so difficult to remove from concrete? There are several reasons. First, concrete and similar surfaces, like pavers, is like a hard sponge. Looking closely, you can see there are millions of pores. So unlike solid surfaces, like paint and coatings, oil stains penetrate deep into the subsurface of concrete. Cleaning the surface with traditional cleaners can lighten the surface stain, but they will also drive the stains deeper into the subsurface, making cleaning attempts virtually futile. Pull It Out is a new technology product that penetrates deep into the pores of the stained concrete, loosens the oil, and as it dries, it pulls the oil out from the subsurface. To use Pull It Out, simply pour it on the stain, let it dry, and brush it away. The oil stain should be lifted with one application. So isn't that cool?
That is incredible, and I love a before and after cleaning video. There is nothing more therapeutic and comforting to watch.
It makes you feel like there was something done. Now, we don't want to forget, this oil stained floor was sponsored by the Eagles. Take it easy, because we want to tell people it's really easy to do this. It's super easy to do it. No scrubbing, no pressure washing, no acids or harsh chemicals. Pour this stuff on, let it do its thing, brush it off. You're done. And then you can.
How long does it take it to dry?
It depends on temperature and humidity. If you're in colder temperatures or humid temperatures, it'll take longer. If it's warmer and drier, a couple hours, you're all done.
Oh, okay, great. And it didn't even look like you even had to put any elbow grease into that. It just came right off.
No, it's really simple. I mean, you really don't even have to brush it off. You could just let nature rain do its thing and take it off. But most people want to see underneath it as soon as it's done doing its work. But it really is that easy. So that's super cool.
Amazing. I love it. All right, what do you got next?
Well, our next step, as we talked about, was organizing, which we already went through, and we said our biggest problems, of course, are bikes, yard tools, clutter, whatnot else. But it really can be so simple if you, because there's a ton of items out there that make this a task that's not difficult at all. All these things are on the ground, and really what you want to do is get them up higher and on the walls. So there's a million ways to hang yard tools on a wall. Like you look on that picture, you can see those are just 2x4s with nails. That's as simple as it could be. But there's actually a lot of organizing items at home centers, whether it's one of those Home Depots or Lowe's or Menards, one of those stores. Lots of them. So those will get all those yard tools off the floor and off on the side, which is really where they belong. And similar with bikes, there's lots of hooks. You don't have to have just the ones that hang them overheads. There's some that put them on the wall. Just getting those two is an enormous issue. And lastly is get some shelving up on the upper half of your walls of your garage, because your cars aren't going to use that space, and you're going to get things up where they're out of the way. And all of a sudden, you're going to have all of those items that were on the floor out of the way. And your garage is going to be an open space. It'll be a clean floor because we already took care of that with the oil. And you're going to be able to pull that car in for the first time in a long time. And
I love it. You're going to have those happy tears.
They are happy tears. So like Johnny Nash sings, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. It's not rain, but it's kind of clutter. But now we can see clearly.
Yes, I love it. I mean, it really does make you feel so much better when that space is clean. And you are so right about that overhead area. It's like such wasted space in the garage. It's
one of the lesser known things, but honestly, there's as many options to look at as you can imagine. There's tons of them for organizing in a garage. And one tip I would give is when you get those like container store boxes, get clear ones because you can see what's on the inside. So there will be no guessing.
Yes, that is so helpful. We have ones that are not clear, and it is a pain in the booty.
It is. Yeah, it is a bit of a problem. But I mean, the reality is, and this is 100% in all honesty, I mean, you can have your items that you really want to save and keep and have at your disposal when you need them. You can have all your yard tools, you can have all your bikes, and you can have your garage back and being able to park your car in there just by taking these simple little steps.
I love it. You can have it all is the message from Ken today.
I like that. You can have it all. That might have been a song we should have added.
Maybe. Next time then. What is our last slide that we have?
Well, ultimately, that's the payoff, is you can see there's a car in the garage. And again, all the stuff is out of the way. All of those things we talked about are still there. You still have all those items that you wanted to save. You got rid of the things you didn't want to. Your bikes are hanging up. The yard tools are hanging up. And your car's in there. And you're going to have this one love in your garage.
Let's get the car inside the garage. How about that?
You are too good. Well, yes, even Bob Marley joins the party today.
Oh, I love it. And it really will bring you more peace just to have it a little bit less organized.
I just want to close with saying that, you don't have to spend a lot of money. This is not like a big money drain doing any of this stuff. I mean, you can obviously go crazy if you want to. You can epoxy finish the floors, which, is a cool thing to do. I mean, there's benefits to that. You could get really nice cabinetry style organizers from some of those stores, but you need nothing more than some container boxes, some 2x4s, and some hooks, and you're going to be off to the race with having a nice clean garage again.
Yes, I love that. I love your to-do list at the beginning, all the things that we're going to do. And, I actually love what you said about getting some help. If you need some help, don't be afraid to ask a friend, ask a family member, because as you can see, Ken was just ready and willing to help, right?
What else can we do than help people? What else can we do?
Yep. I love it. Well, thank you guys so much for coming and checking us out. You want to tell everybody the website where they can get all these beautiful products?
www.healthierhomeproducts.com. And you are going to see our lovely Erin talking about our Clean Walls tool. You'll see some videos on some different products, and you'll always find some good deals.
That's right. We'll always have a deal for you. And Ken, thank you as usual for giving us your knowledge. And we'll see you again next week, same time, same place. If you guys have questions about cleaning, write them in the comments. Ken will answer them for us. He is the best.
Love it.
We'll see you guys next time.